Some losses arrive without warning. They don't announce themselves or create scenes. They subtly redirect the course of your life. Betraying a Sigma male doesn't trigger explosions, public meltdowns, or theatrical revenge. There's no shouting match, no emotional display, no trending rant. Instead, something far more impactful occurs. Access to a rare way of thinking, rooted in discipline, emotional restraint, and long-range vision, quietly vanishes. Most people don't recognize it right away. Awareness comes later, when life starts feeling heavier, slower, and inexplicably more complex. What's rarely acknowledged is this. People who operate with deep self-control and strategic autonomy often influence results far beyond their visible position. They stabilize situations, sharpen the judgment of those around them, and reduce friction without drawing attention to themselves. Remove someone like that, especially through betrayal, and the consequences don't strike immediately. They surface over time. They emerge when shortcuts fail, when choices narrow, and when momentum seems to disappear without explanation. The irony is sharp. Many assume betraying a Sigma brings freedom or control. In reality, it's like cutting off your internet because you dislike the password, then wondering why everything stopped working. Entertaining at first, costly later. This has nothing to do with ego, dominance, or online mythology. It's about psychological consequence, strategic loss, and the invisible price of breaking trust with someone who doesn't play for the moment, only for the long game. When that connection is gone, there's no dramatic crash, just a gradual realization that something essential left your life and quietly took its advantages with it. And that's where the real narrative begins. Number 1. You lose a rare, non-performative respect. Betraying a Sigma male doesn't merely fracture trust, it destroys a form of respect that very few people ever encounter. Most respect in the world is superficial or conditional. People applaud success, nod politely, or offer admiration based on image and appearances. Sigma respect operates differently. It isn't loud, public, or performative. It is quiet, selective, and rooted in consistency, integrity, and demonstrated competence over time. When you betray him, you lose access to that recognition completely. And once it's gone, no amount of charm, apologies, or achievement can recreate it. A Sigma does not respect titles, popularity, or manipulation. He respects depth, clarity, and reliability. Betrayal severs that alignment instantly. The person who once quietly valued your potential now removes you from that sphere of regard, not through condemnation, but through recalibration. There is no dramatic rejection. The respect simply disappears, along with the subtle privileges that came with it. What remains is absence. The loss is quiet but profound. Praise from others begins to feel hollow. External validation loses meaning because you've experienced recognition rooted in genuine understanding, and now it's gone. Betrayal reveals a harsh truth. Some forms of respect cannot be bought, repaired, or reclaimed. Once a Sigma adjusts his judgment, you no longer exist in the category of people he sees beyond surface-level value. You may still find influence elsewhere, but the rare, deeply grounding respect that once shaped how you moved through the world is permanently lost. And its absence leaves a lasting void in how you see yourself, and how you are truly seen. Number 2. You become replaceable in his personal economy. Betraying a Sigma male doesn't cause chaos in his life, it quietly removes you from it. A Sigma doesn't collect relationships for convenience or validation. Every connection exists within a structured ecosystem built on alignment, value, and mutual understanding. When betrayal occurs, you are simply removed from that system. Not dramatically, efficiently. Your absence doesn't disrupt his life. It barely registers. That is the reality most people struggle to accept. The world you thought revolved around your presence continues seamlessly without you. Sigmas operate with precision. They surround themselves with individuals who add clarity, stability, and insight. Betrayal signals a failure to meet those unspoken standards. Once crossed, he doesn't linger in resentment. He reallocates his energy towards someone who embodies reliability and alignment. Replacement isn't punishment, it's optimization. Your significance fades without spectacle. No announcement. No confrontation. Just quiet erasure. The The harsh truth is that your perceived importance was never emotional. It was functional, grounded in trust, competence, and consistency. Once those are gone, the space you occupied doesn't remain empty. It's filled seamlessly. Systems adjust. Networks realign. Influence continues. Without you. The pain lies in the invisibility of it all. You often realize too late that your role was conditional, your access temporary, and your influence never guaranteed. In his world, loyalty is the only thing that makes someone irreplaceable. Once broken, replacement is silent, complete, and final. Number 3. You learn that independence has a cost when misused. Betraying a Sigma male delivers a quiet but severe lesson. Independence is not just freedom, it's responsibility. Sigma males value autonomy deeply, and they respect it in others who wield it with discipline and foresight. Betrayal reveals a critical failure in that understanding. Independence used recklessly is not empowerment, it's self-sabotage. Acting impulsively, prioritizing short-term gain, or undermining someone who operates on principle doesn't make you free. It isolates you. The consequences don't arrive as drama. They arrive as limitations. Opportunities narrow. Relationships weaken. Momentum slows. Choices that once seemed harmless begin carrying heavier costs. Being near a Sigma exposes you to a disciplined form of independence. One that navigates systems wisely, understands consequences, and maintains alignment with integrity. Betrayal removes you from that environment, and the fallout is quiet but relentless. Over time, patterns emerge. Credibility fades. Support systems dissolve. People recalibrate their trust in you. The freedom you believed you gained reveals itself as constraint. The realization comes too late. Independence without wisdom is dangerous. It reshapes how the world responds to you. What once felt like strength becomes exposure. Betraying a Sigma forces confrontation with an uncomfortable truth. True independence requires patience, discipline, and responsibility. Without them, autonomy becomes vulnerability. And losing access to someone who modeled that balance leaves a gap that cannot be ignored. Number 4. Some bridges don't burn, they disappear. One of the harshest lessons betrayal teaches is this: not every loss is loud. Some bridges don't collapse in arguments or confrontation. They don't leave smoke or ash. They vanish quietly, and the realization comes later. Betraying a Sigma male rarely produces immediate fallout. There's no spectacle, no announcement. The access, guidance, influence, and quiet support you once relied on simply cease to exist. Life continues as if nothing happened. The silence is the consequence. This loss is especially disorienting because the value of that bridge was never obvious. It wasn't built on constant validation or visible favors. It was woven into how he moved through the world, how he stabilized, guided, and elevated those around him without calling attention to it. At first, nothing feels wrong. Then weeks or months later, you notice gaps. Opportunities are gone. Support is missing. Stability feels weaker. The absence doesn't shout, it whispers. And that whisper slowly disrupts your trajectory. What makes this loss permanent is that the bridge doesn't leave ruins. There is nothing to rebuild from. A Sigma doesn't revisit what has been broken. He moves forward. Some connections, once severed, cannot be restored. And the world keeps moving regardless of what you lost. Number 5. You lose future leverage without noticing. Betraying a Sigma male isn't only about immediate fallout. It quietly removes opportunities you won't recognize until they're gone. A Sigma doesn't think in short cycles. Every move fits into a long-term framework. Those close to him often benefit from this without ever realizing how much leverage his presence provides. When trust is broken, you aren't just losing a person. You're cutting yourself out of a system that could have amplified your ambitions, decisions, and access. That leverage, once lost, rarely returns. He doesn't announce your betrayal or seek validation. He simply recalibrates his focus, his network, his investments of time and insight. Opportunities that once existed through alignment with him disappear without explanation. Collaborations fade. Access closes. Information stops flowing. At first, nothing seems wrong. Life continues. But slowly, progress feels heavier. Doors that once opened easily remain shut. Momentum stalls. Support that once felt natural is suddenly absent. His leverage was never about control. It was about trust and alignment. He invested where integrity existed. Betrayal removes you from that equation permanently. Years later, you may find yourself struggling through situations where his presence would have made the difference. Only then does the realization land. The short-term gain you thought you achieved was insignificant compared to what you forfeited. This is one of the cruelest consequences. Delayed, invisible, and irreversible. There is no punishment, no confrontation. Just the quiet disappearance of pathways you once relied on. By betraying him, you trade future potential for scarcity. And once that leverage is gone, it cannot be reclaimed. Number 6. You carry the weight of being accurately read. One consequence of betraying a Sigma male is rarely anticipated: the psychological burden of being truly seen. He doesn't respond with drama or accusation. He observes. He notices motives, habits, and inconsistencies. And once trust is broken, your behavior doesn't fade from memory, it becomes a reference point. Unlike those fooled by appearances, a Sigma understands character at its core, often before people understand themselves. After betrayal, that awareness lingers in your mind like a silent mirror, reflecting your choices with unsettling clarity. At first, the weight is subtle. You may believe nothing has changed. But over time, you notice shifts. Responses feel different, opportunities vanish quietly, and an uncomfortable awareness settles in. Someone understood exactly who you were. You can't escape that reckoning. It's heavier than punishment because it forces self-confrontation without accusation. He doesn't remind you of what you did, yet the knowledge that he saw through it all becomes a permanent measure of your own inconsistencies. Your actions weren't hidden. They were visible to someone who doesn't need to react to exert influence. That understanding gnaws quietly, shaping how you view yourself, how you decide, and who you trust going forward. Being accurately read by a Sigma is like living with a truth mirror, one that never lectures, but never forgets. Once that clarity exists, it doesn't disappear with time, excuses, or apologies. The psychological weight of being fully understood is permanent, and for those who betray him, inescapable. Number 7. You learn that emotional intelligence has real value. Betraying a Sigma male often delivers a delayed but painful lesson. Emotional intelligence is not abstract, it has tangible value. A Sigma doesn't rely on loud charisma or manipulation. He observes, understands, and acts with precision. His emotional awareness allows him to navigate people, anticipate outcomes, and unlock opportunities others never see. When you betray him, you lose access to that quiet system of influence, and the consequences reach far beyond emotions. They affect outcomes, momentum, and even financial or career trajectories. Being near a Sigma exposes you to this value constantly. You see how he reads situations, times decisions, and moves efficiently through complexity. His intelligence isn't just mental, it's deeply emotional. He understands behavior, predicts reactions, and applies subtle influence to move goals forward with minimal friction. Once disconnected from that mindset, the cost becomes clear. Decisions feel heavier. Negotiations stall. Relationships require more effort. Opportunities that once flowed naturally now require force, or never appear at all. The lesson is brutal because it's silent. No one tells you what you lost. You experience it through absence, inefficiencies creeping into your life, blind spots you once avoided, and doors closing without explanation. Betraying a Sigma male is like cutting yourself off from a resource you didn't know was compounding your life. Emotional intelligence, in his hands, becomes influence, clarity, and opportunity. Lose that connection, and the cost becomes unavoidable. What once felt like abstract awareness reveals itself as capital. And once it's gone, no amount of cleverness can replace it. Number 8. You become a case study in his evolution. Betraying a Sigma male doesn't just affect you, it reshapes him. Every action, word, and moment of disloyalty becomes information he quietly processes. He doesn't react impulsively or create a scene. Instead, He observes patterns, analyzes motivations, and files away the details that led to the breach of trust. You become a living case study. An example he dissects to refine his understanding of people, boundaries, and long-term strategy. The hard truth is this: your mistake fuels his growth. This isn't revenge. He doesn't need retaliation. The lesson is internalized. He tightens his filters, sharpens his judgment, and updates the rules by which he allows people access to his world. Those who betray him aren't merely removed. They become reference points that shape how he evaluates everyone who follows. The irony is brutal. While you believed breaking trust gave you power, you were unknowingly contributing to his evolution, making him more discerning, more self-reliant, and far less dependent on anyone's loyalty but his own. The effect is cumulative and permanent. Each betrayal adds another layer of insight. He becomes faster at detecting deception, more precise at reading intent, and more efficient at navigating human behavior. By the time others realize what's changed, he has already moved on, operating at a higher level while they are left replaying consequences that feel confusing and unfair. You provided the data. He built the system. Betraying a Sigma male isn't a temporary mistake. It's an investment in his evolution, made entirely at your expense. The person you once knew quietly upgrades into someone who reserves trust and vulnerability only for those who earn it beyond question. You become the unpaid teacher. He becomes the one who turns every error into a lasting advantage. The cruelest part? He never has to acknowledge it. His growth is silent, irreversible, and complete, leaving you to face the reality that your betrayal strengthened the very person you thought you could control. Final reflection. Betraying a Sigma male is not a single mistake. It's a recalibration of reality. You don't just lose a person. You lose access to a mind that shaped your environment, a rare form of respect, invisible stabilizers that made life easier, and opportunities you may never realize existed. You become a case study in his evolution, a reminder that alignment and loyalty are non-negotiable. The consequences are not dramatic, but they are surgical. This isn't exaggeration or fear-mongering. It's the quiet truth about invisible power and rare trust. His departure speaks louder than any argument ever could. The lesson is permanent, the impact unavoidable, and the absence a reminder of how precise and consequential true trust really is.